I love casually going for a coffee kind of photos. And even in branding photos, I really like, oh, you just caught me walking across the street, grabbing a quick coffee. No one ever looks as good as celebrities do. Even Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette with his giant Dunkin' Donuts in his hand. That's about as candid as it gets.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Tim.
I'm Lindsay.
We are the community-driven podcast for photographers just like you. Weddings, portraits,
Events,
dogs, cats,
life,
birds,
death.
Life and death. Not so much death.
Funeral photographers.
Have you photographed a funeral? Is that?
No.
Okay. Same.
I photograph people close to their funerals.
Well, yeah. We've taken a lot of obituary photos just by the nature of old people showing up at weddings and taking really nice photos, which is kind of like a nice thing.
Yeah, it is a nice thing. Yeah, so we're here. We take photos on the side. Shoot Your Shot is our main job.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. It's our full-time gig here.
This is our main funnel.
Yeah. That's a joke. We don't make a single dollar from this.
No.
Maybe one day we'll change that. But here we are, Shoot Your Shot podcast. We're talking about candid photography today.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Me too. This thought came to me. I was laying in bed and I was not distracted by a podcast, or it was just kind of a lull in conversation between Kelly and I, and Jose was chilling. We were just like quietly with our thoughts, which is rare. It doesn't happen very often. And I started thinking about photography and like whether I'm good or not, which is a thing comes up often. I think we're all kind of guilty of this feeling of like, am I still relevant? Am I still good? Is what I create what people want? Does it matter? Did it ever matter? These are the questions that go through all of our heads. I hope you're not alone.
This is why Tim has to listen to a podcast while he lies in bed, because
to tamp down the thoughts.
The horrors come in otherwise.
Yeah. And I decided I'm probably okay. And then I started thinking about the different aspects of the day. And cocktail hour came up because it's something that happens almost every wedding. And it's kind of this liminal space between events. It's kind of like a free-for-all. It's always kind of... it's the same every time. People stand around, they drink cocktails, they have hors d'oeuvres, they chat, they laugh, they catch up. Wasn't that a wonderful ceremony? Where are you sitting? That's cool. And it's always like a weird time for photographers because you're often there taking candid photos. And I started thinking about candid photos. I'm like, well, what about like that day? Part of the day is like enjoyable for me, and it's finding those moments where I can watch someone from across the room with like an 85 or a 50 millimeter far enough away to be like not seen as a guest I'm speaking about, and I'm able to take a photo just based on like the natural rhythms of conversation, which got me thinking about like, well, what makes that photo good? Like why did I decide that photo was a good photo and needs to be taken based on what I've seen, based on my like intuition of what a good photo is? And I started thinking like, well, do couples give a shit about these photos? Do they download these photos? Do they want these photos? Everyone always says to us all the time, we want candid photography. We want that candid, natural photography experience from a day. We don't want it to look too posed. We want it to be very natural and like, as it happened.
Yes.
And I was like, well, what makes a good candid photo? And I had this thought in my head and I said it out loud to Kelly, and she's like, yeah, that's a good idea for a podcast, I guess. Like we tried to dissect what candid photography is. I thought we could do that here in the podcast, talk about lighting, talking about the moment, talk about, just anticipating things, talk about portraits as they pertain to candid photography, how that's influenced that whole genre and that whole side of the day. But I thought it start us off with a little research I did, thanks to the old internet, about why human beings prefer candid photography.
Sounds peachy.
I'm going to read it.
Let's go.
Article from ResearchGate. Article is entitled, A Candid Advantage, The Social Benefits of Candid Photos. Here's the abstract. The summary: photos are a ubiquitous mode of social communication. Analysis of thousands of online profiles finds that people overwhelmingly post posed photos of themselves. But might candids actually lead observers to react more favorably? 5 studies test this possibility. Compared to posed photos, candids made observers feel more connected to the poster, feel more interested in getting to know or date them, and like them more. This was driven by candids making people seem more genuine, which made others react more favorably. Furthermore, consistent with the hypothesized role of genuineness, the benefits of candids were diminished when observers learned that the poster realized their photo was being taken. These findings highlight the role of authenticity in person perception and the potential disconnect between photo posters and viewers. Although posters seem to post mostly posed photos, observers may prefer Candids because they provide a more authentic sense of who the poster really is. I went in to read more about this because that was a very abstract. And basically people are drawn to the more natural, authentic moments captured in photographs.
Yes.
They don't like the fake aspects of what is traditionally known as like a posed photo.
Right.
They're drawn to the honesty and the more raw and like personable side of photographs that are candid.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think, that happens throughout all of a wedding day. We're
Sure.
thinking about weddings specifically, but I think candids is what most of our clients ask for regardless of what we're doing, aside from like commercial work where it's not really a lot of candid in that.
No.
But, family photos and what I think of as to be candid is that people want to look like they were just caught in a moment.
Right.
Like we watch so much reality TV, even though reality TV is literally cast and they have show
Heavily
notes.
influenced by
there
alcohol.
Are producers.
Yes.
Oh, but like literally, I mean, I watch a lot of reality TV and I have done a deep dive, many a deep dive ever since like the Laguna Beach days because I wanted to understand how much of this is real. And a lot of it is like poking and prodding. And I think of a lot of that as of how we do things as well.
Okay.
We set people up
Yeah.
like a little wind up toy and we let them go, and hopefully ours results in less drunken screaming matches.
That'd be great.
But typically, we are kind of like the producers of these shows where we put people in good light.
Yeah.
We put them in the right setting, right? Like, okay, let's go back to Laguna Beach because
Okay.
I feel like that's probably, I could talk about Vanderpump Rules, but I think that probably most people, I don't know, Laguna, what do you think is the most?
I have no fucking idea, dude.
You don't watch
I don't
reality,
watch reality TV.
Okay, well, that's going to be lost on you
Well, then
okay.
give me, like, the-
Laguna Beach is like the very first.
Treat me
Everybody
like a
knew this,
6-year-old.
okay?
Yeah, okay.
So Laguna Beach, high schoolers.
Okay.
They would set these girls up and they'd be like, okay, you're going to go to Starbucks. And can you please bring up that you think that Steven is cheating on you?
Oh.
And the producers know through their own research
That he
and
is?
watching that the girl that she's bringing this up to is one of the girls that Steven's been talking to. Okay.
Okay.
This is a hypothetical. I'm assuming that this happened on the show. I don't actually remember. That was like I was 15 when this came out. But okay, so they're like, wind him up and watch him go.
Yeah.
We kind of do in a much less skeezy and sleazy kind of way. We wind people up and watch them go. Okay, so for getting ready photos, we will ask them, can you put the dress on over here?
Yes.
And that's where the nice lighting is. And that is going to make dad cry.
Yeah.
So an authentic version of that is to have dad walk in once she's all dressed and say, hey, do you want to go and see your daughter come in here?
It's like a chess game, kind of. You put pieces in place knowing that there's going to be certain outcomes and people, the other players in the game will react in a certain way.
But I think, not to get too deep too quickly here, but like they said in this abstract, that it starts to lose its value the more that people know what the jig is up.
Yeah.
They know that this image is being taken. Obviously, our clients know the image is being taken. We cannot possibly make that much of, well, in Candids at cocktail hour and receptions and stuff, maybe they're paying less attention.
I feel like there's two camps here, basically.
Yes.
There's like the unposed kind of like portrait photos that we take on a day to like manufacture moments in a way or like kind of massage things to happen in a way to create authentic moments happen for people who are around this kind of scene. And then there's truly authentic, candid moments that happen when, during cocktail hour or like when someone trips and falls, not to get too dark or anything, but like things that happen that are unscripted, unplanned, completely unexpected. Those are the photographs. So there's two camps.
People get caught up in a moment.
Yeah.
And even though they know, sure, they're being documented or that there is somebody around you that could document this, that it truly is like the look of shock when you see somebody that you didn't know was going to be there, or you forgot that they, whatever, like, that they're going to be there, but your reaction is truly genuine.
Yeah.
And I think those two camps are so important for us to explain to our clients of how Candids work and how they operate. Because yes, what we do is very unposed. It still requires some cues
Very much so.
80% of it.
It requires a beautiful area to shoot it in. It requires perfect lighting. It requires everyone to be paying attention that should be paying attention, and people who are not paying attention who need to be, quote unquote, maybe surprised or massaged into this moment to be like, hey, you're the mark in a way. Like your dad who's about to cry seeing his daughter for the first time. Maybe you know what's going to happen. Maybe you're going to walk into the room, but you're not really sure what your reaction is going to be.
And have you ever seen it go so badly? Like, okay,
yes.
where dads don't know what a first look is.
No.
And they don't know that this posed moment is like a thing that the bride is expecting to go a certain way. Mm-hmm. And so dad just walks in the room thinking he's walking in the room. He sees his daughter in a dress. He's like, looks great, sweetie.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
And she's like, well, she's picturing that TikTok moment.
Yes.
That really big, like social media viral sensation moment. Your dad's not that kind of a dude, or he is that kind of a dude. And the way we have set this up feels so inauthentic. He couldn't possibly get there if he tried.
He doesn't want to play ball.
There's a videographer, a photographer, people I just met 20 minutes ago. Yeah, there's a microphone here, you know, and I know I've talked about the like, why are we doing 5 million first looks things in the past? Yes. But for me, those are the most inauthentic, candid moments is when we set up these staged fake moments. That's why we tell our couples, I'll use bride and groom because typically for us, it is a bride and a groom that we're asking a groom to stand in one place and the bride's going to come and you're going to have to react to it. And one thing I usually tell a guy, especially if he's looking nervous, is have whatever reaction feels normal for you.
Yeah.
So if you are just confused and need some comforting, that's actually so fine. You can literally
you throw up, my friend.
Give her a hug. Tell her she looks beautiful. Those are two really safe bets.
For sure.
But then if you're the goofball that's like, oh, what's this thing do back here? And it's the train, like, that's fine. That's you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But like, that's you and that's okay. And I would rather a guy
have
be
an
like
moment,
confused about how buttons work on a dress
than
a guy fake cry because he's been told that that's how he's supposed to react. So that's my worst case scenario.
I've seen way more fathers be like, oh, you look
Goof
great.
It up. Yeah.
Look at the camera. You look great, honey.
Immediately look at the camera. True.
Like, where do we stop doing this? So one of my tactics for doing video right now, this is a fun thing you could take with you if you're a videographer, is I will, before the gentleman walk in the room, whether it's a brother or a father or some figure in their life they want to see them for the first time, the bride or groom, I'll walk up and just kind of adjust them, and I'll have the mic in my hand with a little microphone, like a magnet rather, and I'll just kind of touch their lapel. I'm like, oh, just making sure you look good. And I'll adjust them, I'll put the mic underneath their lapel so they don't know it's there most of the time.
Oh my gosh,
and I got a compliment from the brother of the bride from the last wedding we did. He's like, I had no idea you had a mic on me. I'm like, yeah, bro. No sweat. He's like, that was awesome. Thank you. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh, I think that could go so sideways. If somebody put a mic on me without telling me, I would literally murder that person.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Murder. If someone mic'd me up on a wedding day without telling me, no, I don't know about that. Okay. I don't know about that at all.
Ethically, you don't like it?
For so many reasons, I don't like it. Ethically, professionally,
come after me.
Personally, I cannot wait to hear people's feelings on this because, okay, yes. Did you get a moment? Yes. And would we assume that they are assuming that they could be recorded and that anything they say could be recorded in this room already? Sure.
Yeah.
But right up on their lapel? Oh, hell no, I would lose it. Okay.
Noted for Lindsay.
Don't ever put a microphone on me without me knowing. I say crazy shit even when there is a mic and I do know things. Yeah. I wouldn't want one just like sneaky on there.
Like 2 seconds before first look?
Yeah. What if he says something raunchy, Tim?
Where's it going to go? What do I care?
That's not the point. Where's it going to go? The point is that he's thinking like, I didn't know I was being recorded and you wouldn't believe what I just said to her. Or he's immediately like panicked. Anyways, it's not my show. I'm not a videographer. I do have a question about why candids matter in your research, in your heart and your mind.
Sure.
Why do you feel like people care about candids versus posed?
I think for me personally, like thinking about it, just my own thoughts about it, I think people want to feel like the day was less of a production and more of just a thing that happened that flowed really naturally. And they want to experience the day as if there wasn't you there taking the photos. If that makes sense. They want to see the day through your eyes, but not have that fourth wall broken.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that makes total sense.
For truly candid stuff, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's moments where they want you there. They want you to be like, have all their friends and family looking at the camera for like a pose, like, hey, let's look at them. Let's do some time travel and look at this photo of ourselves like 20 years from now. But I think for the candid stuff, they want to just feel like it's kind of a authentic, honest time traveling experience.
I think to go back to sort of how most of us, like the people that are getting married right now, millennial, Gen Z, are sort of like the demo of people that are getting married. Most of us have grown up with reality TV. And I think a lot of people grew up thinking, oh, that would be so cool to have my prom documented in such a way, or my engagement photos, or what, like all of these special moments. Wouldn't that be so cool to have had this documentary style thing?
Yeah.
Minus the drama, but the girls think how glamorous these people look and their lives look so special and important and cool. And I think that's what we try to bring to a day, is that documentary style of like, you got to feel a little bit like you were a mini celebrity on your wedding day.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
But also like, I have always loved paparazzi photos, so sue me, Justin Bieber. Sorry, I'm not standing on business for that one, but I do like, I love the like casually going for a coffee kind of photos, and even in branding photos, I really like the, oh, you just caught me walking across the street, grabbing a quick coffee. No one ever looks as good as celebrities do, casually walking across the street, grabbing a coffee. Like even Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette with his giant Dunkin' Donuts in his hand. That's about as candid as it gets.
Yeah.
But if you think of, on the flip side of that, how much work he's had done, his hairline, his face, his jaw structure. He's got a stylist for even his grubby ass clothes, right?
Yeah.
He's jumping into his $180,000 car.
Yeah.
His life candidly does look better than if you were to do the same of me, sweet Jesus. It's not a photo you'd want to print. It would be in the Inquirer. It would be like a hot or not kind of caught in the moment kind of thing. But I think we have romanticized this idea of what candids look like. And do you think that celebrity, the Kardashians, all of these people that have so much content of them being documented candidly has made us want that for ourselves, but also perhaps have a skewed idea of what a candid might look like for some of us.
I think a lot of it for me, like when I think about candid photos, I think about the moments looking through, and this ages me a bit maybe, but that's fine. I'm a certain age. Going through photo albums when I was a
certain
kid.
age. You talk like you're an old man. You're in your 30s.
Yeah, late 30s.
Okay.
And I feel like going through those photo albums, seeing candid moments of like family gatherings of like someone's taking a photo and no one's really, watching and looking at the person taking, it's film photos. So like, it's very rare to see those because there's only so many that we could take, given that there's only, 36 exposures in a roll.
You would get caught for sure. Like in a
so like
snapshot.
Being able to bring that camera up to your face and take a photo without anyone noticing just felt very like rare, because it's such a thing, like maybe only 3 people had a camera at that event, and there's only like I said, 36 exposures. So there's 90 photos being taken at this event at most. But most of the time it's carryover from another event or like something else happening that week. So I like to think of candid moments as like, that's the baseline. And then what we do today is just a bit more elevated, because we have the opportunity to take multiples of a certain scene.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like true candid stuff. Less do with like the posed portrait, candid, caught in a moment things. More so like during cocktail hour when we're waiting for like 2 people who are like, look like they could be brothers. They're uncles of the bride, maybe. And they're chatting in the corner. And then there's always a flow to a conversation. Yeah. Where it's like, say something.
Oh, yeah.
And those are the moments you want to try and capture, right? So
you catch, like, this is one thing I love. I love the flow of cocktail conversations. I absolutely love watching 2 people that do exactly like you said. Person A goes, yap, yap, yap. Person B responds, oh, yeah, yap, yap, yap. Typically, they both have a look like an RBF, a resting bitch face, right? Like typically people's natural, when they truly don't think they're being documented, their conversational face is not put on. There's a reason why, like even when Tim and I are recording this podcast, even though the majority of people are probably listening, we still try to not have dead face when we're like being recorded, because first of all, I think it comes through in the audio of listening to somebody speak. You can generally tell if somebody like actually has zero energy. Whoa, I just really did something wild in my hair there. But if you're recording your face and we just like, if we recorded our faces, how we normally talk out front in the studio, we would not be
pleased.
Nobody wants to see that version of us. And I don't want to see that version of myself, but you do that little yap, yap, yap. Yap, yap, yap.
Yes.
Oh, yap, 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 yap. And then typically, because weddings are generally a joyous occasion, there's a giggle.
There's a giggle.
There's a hand slap on the shoulder.
There's a joke.
There might be an embrace even.
Yes.
If you're lucky. If you get really lucky.
Yeah.
If you're
There's
really
an inside
lucky,
comment that,
a clink of glasses.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, a
oh my God, it's
reaction
so good to
face.
see you. This face, right? Like, oh my God, you're here. I saw you during the ceremony.
You see a girl like, like
yes,
that
you look
face of
incredible.
seeing the
Look at that
girls.
tie.
Yes.
There's things to comment on. There's positivity going around the room, and more often than not, people are just telling jokes. Like they're just trying to make someone else laugh, make them feel comfortable
little
because they
yap.
haven't seen them in a while. Maybe you know, like it's a reunion. It's a time to catch up and talk about mostly the good things.
Yes.
Unless it's on the heels of a funeral. I don't know. Even those I've been to. Those are. I make so many jokes.
Oh, so many jokes at funerals. Absolutely.
No, it's
I'm the kind of guy to laugh at a funeral.
Yeah, if you don't
can't understand what I mean.
You soon will.
You soon will. Yeah, I do love the flow, and I think that you're very good, especially probably because of video. You have gotten even better at it, faster at it than just a photographer would, of knowing how to anticipate moments. And I think that's like 95% of the job of doing a Candid.
Yeah.
Is knowing what might come from it, being in the right place at the right time, setting yourself up for success. Are your settings right? Are your hands in the right position on the camera to like make this thing go? And then just and trying to be really unobtrusive when it comes to interacting. Because to go back to the abstract, the second they realize, they turn their silly little heads over to the camera, the moment's dead. Even if you still get a really good Candid after that, it's still, I think the perceived value is lower for the person that is in said photo.
Do you think eye contact makes a good photo, a good Candid photo? Do you think eye contact is, I mean, taking kind of like into another realm like street photography?
Yeah,
that's
where
kind
they look at you and they're like surprised, or during some of my favorite photos from dance party receptions are, I would say they're still candid in that I think that these people are truly in the moment. They're in the moment, but performing sort of to the camera a little bit. Like that's like me to a T when I'm on a dance floor. I'm like just an absolute ham and a half probably.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking about myself like I'm an 85-year-old woman? But like, I think if there's a party photographer, they're looking for party candids. And I'm just here to provide that. Magic, the wedding photographer, can attest to this. I have made an absolute ass of myself in front of his camera. I just live to serve. I think if everybody else around you is being boring, you have to do something to try to get a little bit more out of them. Magic is a really good example of that. He will dance and get crazy. He's never documented looking like an idiot, though. We are when we then join in on that. But I do like a little eye contact, a little bit of shock and awe. At the same time, I think that, so candids, here's what I think my clients want from candids.
Please tell me.
I think that they want that like sort of documentary style, but still very flattering kind of aesthetic of them during getting ready, during the ceremony, during the first looks. Some things that I have to poke and prod and massage to make look how I want them to look.
For sure.
But walking photos, all of those things, they are posed. They just happen to be moving, and I'm asking them to like laugh side to side and whatever. That is not truly documentary by any means, but it is a candid sort of. They're not posed and standing in static.
You're not telling them which foot to put forward at which time. Tilt your head up and down, look at each other. Like it's basically hold hands, walk towards us.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yes.
That's the prompt.
And we try to give them like some more direction when it comes to large groups. Like we might say, okay, everybody like jump in and like, okay, one thing I did last week that absolutely flopped the first time, I said dog pile onto the bride and groom, but I saw like the look of horror on her face and I was like, don't like literally dog pile onto them. I just meant what I say this to people all the time. You've been there so many times where I'm like, dog pile in because you want them to group hug, but I don't want them to make
Huddle?
I don't want you to make it light. Like I don't want a weird little light group hug.
Yeah.
They didn't understand the assignment the first time. We needed the energy to be higher. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do it again. Yep. And I think you cued some of it.
We did an activity called 3-2-1 pose where we have the pose every 3 seconds, doing different pose.
Yes.
Energy was higher. People were laughing. They're more likely to touch each other.
And then we rolled in.
And then we rolled into that.
Yes.
Bit of a walk and then a roll into a huddle dog pile.
Yeah. I do want you to talk about your activity thing in a second. But then I think when it comes to, I'll just finish up what I think my clients are looking for with candidates, because I think it's different from what yours want. I think you have like, I don't know, maybe. I could be wrong. But
please tell me.
Then in, ceremony, that's about as candid as it's getting because I'm not interacting with them unless something goes horribly awry. And then, you know, as they're walking down the aisle, I'll tell them like, stop, take a kiss, whatever, a little dip if you want, whatever. And then we keep going. That's pretty much the only interaction we're having.
For sure.
And then into cocktail hour, that's way more purely candid for me, unless I'm actually saying, okay, you three get together, look at the camera, you know? But I actually think that's the time where those are more true documentary style candids where shit can start to get a little weird and fun if that's what the cocktail hour allows. And then into reception where, again, and maybe it's the comfort now with there's been a photographer around us all day. We've seen this person here longer. They become a little bit less aware of your existence. And I find my seconds are always able to get better candids than I can because they're not usually the ones directing and posing. And
they've seen you taking family photos at this point, or like wedding party photos, or just kind of like
they're more aware of my existence.
Yeah, you're center stage for the ceremony. You're kind of walking up and down the aisle. Your seconds maybe off getting peripheral shots from up above the balcony or like down the side
and no matter
aisles.
what I tell them, even if I say pretend I'm not here, they're not going to do that.
I remember. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
You're the person that was telling me how to.
Someone
pose.
tells you pretend I'm not here, they're gonna definitely remember.
They're gonna remember you that you're there Immediately, they're like, okay,
oh, that's interesting.
Weird.
Yeah,
What's
no one
she
says
doing?
that.
She recording? Did she sneak a recording device on my lapel while we were talking earlier?
It's possible.
It's possible. You never know.
This is why we don't mic up
these day and ages.
Brides. I never mic up a bride. I think it's too much.
They get anonymity?
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. Good to know. Okay. So, and then into the reception, I think that's when, you know, alcohol's a little flowy and they are just a little bit less aware. And the dance floor is where I get like my favorite candids usually. And not even necessarily dance floor. Like one of my favorite photos from, I guess it's been 2 years ago now, was the parents of the groom sitting off to the side at the Walper Hotel. I had like direct flash on them and they're sitting back on a chair side by side. I think one of them has a cocktail in their hand and you can just see them spent from the dance floor, spent from a really good day, but happy. And that's like a true candid, right? Like that's documentary style candid.
Yeah.
But I do not think that my clients want ugly candids.
No, and I don't think the people you take photos of want those photos either. Like, I mean, I feel like that's kind of obvious, but I feel like
it isn't. It isn't obvious.
That was part of the thing I was thinking about in bed, laying there. I'm like, if it's not a great photo of their great aunt, and it's only one of 10 photos you took that day of great aunt,
do you still include it?
Do you still include it because maybe it means something to the person, your client, your couple who wanted candid photos of their guests and specifically their aunts and uncles?
Yeah.
Even though
but her neck waddles out and she
Raylene
doesn't
like that, but it's a great photo of Raylene like being genuinely happy, smiling.
Raylene is such a specific name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you care? Do you include it? Of course. I mean, I think you do, right?
There's a line for me. I don't know. It depends. Did I interact with that aunt? And that aunt clearly seemed like they did not want their photo taken. And as a girl's girl, I will 100% only deliver something that is really nice and flattering of that person that made it clear. Or, I mean, I just think most people really want nice and flat. So here's where I think it gets complicated.
The mud.
Yeah. If you are a photographer that has ever looked at photography awards.
Yes.
And the awards that make the images that generally get picked for like the most incredible awards are ones that are using serious like either off-camera flash or some sort of like they've interacted with the scene in a lighting scenario.
Yeah, they've manipulated the scene and they've changed the lighting in some way. Typically.
Okay, so there's that aspect that's usually there. Obviously, it's going to be like a high quality image resolution, blah blah blah, no blurry weirdness here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's probably shot at f/14, maybe f/8, but probably literally f/11. And it's probably one of the most unflattering images that you could possibly imagine, but a very true, real life moment that absolutely happened authentically, that this couple was like, whether it's the bride and groom or bride and her dad, or there's two people interacting or there's something happening that is just crazy. There's spit flying. There's hair flying. Like the photos that are getting these like I think specifically I'm thinking of Fearless Photography Awards.
Sure.
Because WPPI, I mean, there's like 5 million categories. Okay, but let's talk about a Fearless Award. Because these are some of like the most noteworthy photographers in the world and the most well-recognized images.
Yeah.
I think that they're images that clients for some part are sad are out there.
Okay. Tell me more. Because of the unflattering nature of a lot of these photos. Because they're wide angle, below the chin, 8mm f14. Everything, every pore is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're heavily I looked at the website earlier today because we talked about some of the awards and that one came up, and
some of them are incredible.
some of them are amazing.
And some of them truly are okay, I will say all of them are incredible.
Yeah, sure. Well, they're
incredible.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if
They're noteworthy.
you were a war photographer and this was war and not
That's
a
a
wedding,
good way to put it. It does look a bit like war photography.
right?
Yeah.
And this is true photo documentary style.
Yeah.
And hopefully your client hired you because they have seen other work of yours that looked like that and they were like, yes.
It looks like the photographer who took them is breathing heavily when they took that photograph. Like
Stressed.
that's in my brain. That's why I'm like, this looks stressful to
But
take.
then what happens when you get photographers who are just hired as normal wedding photographers and their clients didn't hire them for like a fearless type of award, but that photographer is looking to become like this high level photographer where they want to be known as an artist, and they think the best path for me to be known as an artist, because here you are, a phenomenal photographer, 10 years in, lying in bed thinking, am I any good?
Yeah.
I want to be better. What's the path to better? Better candids, better real moments. What if you then take that and you say, hell yeah, the next wedding I shoot, I am going to get the most unflattering angle I can possibly find, but it'll be real, goddammit.
For the award, for the plot.
For the plot.
I can't see
Because
myself doing that.
I know you can't.
I think you need to look at yourself, look at your business, look at your clients, and remind yourself why they hired you, for the things that they hired you for at the time that they hired you for, which is to, for us, in a lot of our cases, is to make them look nice on a wedding day, capture things authentically as possible, and don't go too off book. Like like stick to the script to a degree. You know what I mean? Like we can try new things. We can play with like, blurred shutter, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We do some off camera flash. We want to get a bit adventurous at night. If there's like no good light, we want to recreate a sunset. But like, I think you need to be a customer service rep first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that could be
I think
me.
I think even
small
even
adjustments.
if I was like let's go with Jason Vincent, who is a phenomenal photographer. I think probably has won many Fearless Awards.
Oh yeah, I think he's
and
Jason's
work is not
Vincent.
what I'm referring to when I say unflattering and
Yeah.
I shot it at 14
No,
because
no.
I have seen this man work. I did a whole behind the scenes of day with him in Playa del Carmen.
Yes.
Taylor was shooting with him behind the scenes and I got to just literally witness and watch, and
I got to do his workshop
and hold bags for the brides.
Yeah.
Like, he is an artist.
Yes.
And he is looking at the entire scene and the entire image and the clients, but I wouldn't say he was looking at the clients first and flattering and then the scene, which is what I would typically do.
This is what came up during the workshop, and no shade to, because I love the way you do, the way you see the world is incredible, Jason. But it was local models here, Kate and Austin.
Okay,
You shot their wedding on a boat.
Of course, yeah, I did.
We had them over at the Seagram's buildings,
Yeah.
the new now Shopify building. It's now
Yes.
something else, and those different little windows and doors.
Yeah.
He had them like on a super wide. He had a flash behind them, and then because it was like a weird angle, he didn't have a tilt shift. He had to like readjust it, so they were like this big in the frame, but like double the width. I'm like, isn't that weird to like distort their bodies? He's like, no, it's not about them. It's about the scene. And I was like, I think they want to look good. I think they want to look like themselves a little bit more than like that, but. It made sense because you only had so much space. He was demonstrating like how to make it
Here's
go.
what I would do. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
People that hire Jason
hiring a
Jason
vibe.
for the art.
Yes.
And so they would hire for wanting those windows to be perfectly square,
Yes.
and it would drive them insane to think that it was distorted, because actually I think he shoots a lot of weddings for photographers.
Yeah.
So those photographers would say, but why are the angles weird?
Yeah. Which is a very different way of thinking, and I totally respect it because it helped me just understand the world in a different way, and like there's more than one way to crack a nut in this business.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to me to see that and be like, okay, well, that's not something I would particularly focus on because you taught me over the years, and I've learned from other people as well.
Maybe the problem is that Tim has shot with me for too long, and I have focused on people liking flattering images.
But I'm also vain to a degree. I want flattering photos myself. That's why there's so I don't know, it's psychology, but like there's so few of them because there's only I have a high degree of standard of what I think is a good
what you
photo
like
of
of
myself.
yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
no, I understand.
And I think
that.
it's made me I definitely know it has made me a better photographer, but also seeing things like Fearless Photography, seeing Jason Vincent's work, seeing Sam Hurd, seeing other people, and just
People
like,
go to extremes.
they go to extremes to get things. And I think it's interesting and it's cool that they exist
Yeah.
because we can kind of dip our toe in that world
Yeah.
and find out what candid or what posed or what kind of experimental things we can take away and bring to our business that add to it as opposed to divert it, bring it off like a dirt road that
Yeah.
people are like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did this come
Yes.
from?
Yeah.
Why is this happening now?
Well, okay, so Sam Hurd did shoot one of our weddings, right?
He did,
And
yeah.
he did a really good variety of like these are photos for you and these are photos for me.
Yes.
So he would take like the classic sort of portrait, us together standing in a room, nice, pretty, normal, flattering, right? And
Yeah.
then he shot some photos that were obviously intended for us too. It's not like he only shot them for
Yeah, he
himself.
didn't just keep them for himself.
But they were more Sam's style.
Yeah.
And some of them absolutely hit the mark for me where I was like, yes, that's us. That feels like us. And then some of them, there's one photo that's like his absolute like favorite portfolio from our wedding day, I think, because he's used it. I've seen it in his portfolio where we're framed in between like a honeycomb
Yes.
of a double exposure.
I know this one.
And I have really light colored eyes. My eyes were watering from looking into a light. And for me, it's one of my personal least favorite photos of my face because of just, I just don't like my face in it. Yep. But it's one of his favorite photos. I think as long as you can provide your clients with enough photos for them that hit the mark on what they want,
Yes.
you do get more of a carte blanche to get experimental and do what you want to do that's more fun for you.
Yeah.
And as with all true artists, some of it's going to flop.
Totally.
Some of it is absolutely going to flop.
Absolutely.
And some of your little experiments are going to suck. And we wouldn't get to the point where we are of even knowing what is a flattering image, what is good light, and what
Yeah.
we do enjoy and what we don't enjoy if someone hadn't been willing to let us try a little bit.
And those moments you mentioned you were with Jason Vincent in Playa del Carmen and you were in Mexico. That like experience you had of like following him around with the two brides around the different locations you went to, that was the day before the wedding, if I'm not mistaken. Like that was add-on time. That wasn't taking away from anything. Guests weren't missing cocktail hour. They weren't missing their reception.
No.
They weren't like pulled out of like pivotal moments of the
And
wedding
he did
day.
keep on checking with them, like,
Are
how
you
are you guys
good?
feeling?
Yes,
You want to
totally.
stop? You want to keep going? But
Yeah.
they're photographers, and they were like, "We'll
Let's
go,
go
as long as you want to
Yeah.
go."
When are
you
your
know?
feet gonna fall off? We'll go until then.
Yeah. And I will also say that is the culmination of probably 10, 15 plus years of his own experimentation of figuring out what is and isn't
Yeah.
a good image in his mind,
Yeah.
and what his clients are looking for. His work is not candid. It is documentary style on the wedding day, I would say, but his portrait work is very highly curated. It's much slower. It's more methodical.
Yeah.
He's looking at individual like geometry and individual, specific things that sort of craft this like perfect portrait. And
Yeah.
he's right. He hits the images are flawless.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's going to do a correction to make sure lines are all straight and perfect.
And
right?
he spends a lot more time in Lightroom and Photoshop than I think I would ever consider for a lot of the photos. I'm like, that's so much work, but
It's so much
it's
work.
worth it.
But
It's incredible.
He's curating like an absolutely stunning gallery.
But he
And
knows
then-
what he's doing. Like,
and
he
then
goes
on the
into it
wedding
knowing-
day, when
yeah.
it is candid, then those ones are truly like, those are candid, fun portraits
Mm-hmm.
where he's got brides that are willing to get in the sand and do a human pyramid with their entire wedding party.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I don't know how you cultivate that level of trust and friendship and relationship with your photographer. I am not there yet. I have yet to get somebody to do a human pyramid or let me ride them like a donkey,
Yeah.
which is another thing he did at that wedding. One of
remember, that was a good- yeah.
of the men at the wedding was on all fours in
Yeah.
the reception, giving people
Donkey rides.
horsey rides. He was like, "Okay, hop on my back,"
Bourdon.
and Jason hopped on his back. So there, as you always say, Tim, there's a lid for every pot.
So live for every pot.
And we have fully digressed from the topic of
Yes.
candids into what is art, really, which is maybe where this all got
Well,
started.
let's go into that.
Are
I
we
mean,
even good?
Are we even good?
Do we
Well,
suck?
Let's talk about. I want to
Are
talk
we
about.
any good? Is the title of this podcast?
No, we're not. We're great. Do people? Do our clients and couples? Do we trust them enough to trust them to know what's good? Let me finish. 20 years from now, after their wedding, they're going to want every photo of the people who are no longer with them.
Yes.
whether or not we included those photos or not, they're probably going to come back to us and say, hey, do you have any more Candids of like Aunt Abic? What did I say? Meredith?
You said Raylene, which
Raylene.
is very specific. Sorry
know Raylene.
to our friend
Oh, I do know
Raylene.
Raylene.
We
Sorry,
do
Raylene.
know a Raylene. I was like, that's so wild that you're
I do know
using
Raylene.
that. Yeah.
Jolene.
A good
Pick a
friend
name.
of ours,
Doesn't
Raylene.
matter. Do we trust them to let them, with their expectations of a day, steer what that gallery looks like, knowing that all the photos we take of the people who matter the most to them will be valuable and become more valuable as time goes on? That's where my brain kind of went to before I drifted off to sleep. Like, whether it's a good photo of someone flattering or not, if they're on the dance floor having a good time and there's pure joy in their face, do we include it knowing that maybe it's not the most flattering angle, knowing that in 20 years that is going to have so much weight and so much gold and so much value behind it?
Yeah.
Regardless of what
If it's a truly
current
great photo,
trends
then yeah, I
dictate
will.
or what like a good photo or what good posture or what good looks could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when you phrase it like that, Tim, like, yes, if it's a truly great photo and it's a great moment, then yes, I'll probably always deliver that. Probably always, sometimes maybe deliver that.
I'll keep it. I'm not going to throw it away.
I'll
If they ask for
definitely have it on hand. No, I would probably deliver it, truthfully.
Yeah.
I deliver a fair amount of unflattering images, truthfully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm only delivering quote unquote flattering photos. I try my hardest to always ensure that images are flattering
Looking great.
and people enjoy how they look in them.
Yes.
But sometimes a moment overcomes that. Okay, here's an example.
I want to hear it. This is what this is
So
about.
I had
great.
a wedding at Hacienda Seria years ago, rest in pieces.
Now it's Sarita or what is it called now?
Yeah, it was a
Hacienda
venue that
Serenita?
had some level of, we'll call it bankruptcy for use of a better word, financial hardships. And they, prior to that, Tim and I and our Taylor and a bunch of us,
We loved it.
We worked there all the time. And it was
felt so good about
one
that
of those
place.
venues that you felt like you could truly make art at. It's
Yeah.
actually where we did our photos with Sam.
Yeah, it is.
It has like this very Spanish vibe. It had a gorgeous pond out back. It had just like interesting architecture and lines and light and a gorgeous skylight and all the things. So it did draw a really cool clientele.
Yeah.
Because of the type of venue it was.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a golf course.
No.
It's not. There was literally nothing basic about it. It was gorgeous. It felt very grand.
It was a villa.
For-
it felt like
yeah.
people who wanted to travel but couldn't maybe
Yeah.
do it at that time.
So I had some really interesting clients there that really loved photography and loved the art of photography, and also, generally speaking, had a little bit of money to throw at it, which was fun. One client in particular, Persian bride, she had this incredible Panina Torne gown and veil, which for anyone who knows is like a $20,000-$30,000 thing. She was very specific about the types of images she wanted. She had like a really big Pinterest board, and it wasn't for inspiration, it was for recreation. And I was like fine with that. I don't really care.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to send me stuff for recreation, I'll tell them there's a limit on that, like
Yeah.
5. We can do 5 of those. And then the rest of it is for inspiration. So you pick your 5 wisely.
yeah.
One of them she wanted was a photo of herself and her sister, who is her bridesmaid, holding her huge cathedral train,
Yes.
like Pippa and
Pippa. Peppa Pig?
Pippa
Pig.
like the princess, what's the prince? I'm bad at royal wedding things, but it was a royal wedding photo.
Oh, the queen?
Princess Kate and Pippa. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's a guy?
Princess Kate and Pippa's the bridesmaid.
Who's Pippa?
Pippa is like a princess.
Oh.
A princess. You know who Pippa is?
No, I know who Pippa is. Pippa Pig. Who's Pippa?
Pippa, not Peppa.
No, I've never heard Pippa before in my life.
Okay, I'll show you.
Okay.
It's a gorgeous photo, and I'm pretty sure that it was from Princess Kate and William's wedding prior to Harry and Meghan.
Okay.
Past era.
Pippa.
It's just a long ass. This is a long ass veil photo. She wanted it like me looking across the courtyard, and it looks like they're walking across. And honestly, the moment that was the real photo was probably unstaged. The photographer had a vision. They were like, she's going to carry that.
Yes.
It's going to be perfect. I'll go over here.
I'm on
Blah,
an
blah, blah.
85 because it's like you're in a cathedral that's massive. Yeah.
I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go sideways to
Sure.
you instead of behind, because you won't get the whole picture. And they nailed this photo. So now we're doing a recreation of a Candid, which is a whole level of that I don't have time to get into at this moment. So we do all of their portraits ahead of time. And then she had told me ahead of time that she did not like the right side of her face.
Okay.
She did not like the right side of her face. She did not want it documented at all. I brought up like, okay, well, are you doing the traditional? You're going to stand on the left and he's going to stand on the right. She said, no. We flipped our ceremony so that only the left side of her face can be documented while she's standing up at the front.
Was I here for this? This sounds vaguely familiar. Maybe you just talked about it.
You might have been, honestly.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very possible that you were. She only wanted the left side of her face documented.
Got it.
So I don't know how I had the foresight to think of this because I was fairly new still at this, but I said, okay, just to be clear, if I photograph, and I remember this conversation so clearly, I said, if I photograph you and your grandma hugging, your grandma hugs you from behind, like she hugs you like a normal hug, okay? And you turn your face because she takes one side and you take the other. And the side of your face that's exposed is the right side of your face. Tell me, what level of disliking that side of your face are we talking? You still want that photo because that photo is like incredibly meaningful? Or is that a burn it, I never want to see it? And she said, burn it, I never want to see it. And that
Serious.
was so shocking to me because I was just trying to get to a point of like understanding with her so that I could understand like this is facial dysmorphia at this point, right? And I am not judging her for it at all. It is from years of internalized whatever that is so bad that we have done this to ourselves. But it is, you know, this was like early days into social media and selfies and blah 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 blah. For whatever reason, this girl with one of the most symmetrical faces I've ever seen, truthfully, hates the right side of her face and would rather that photo never exist. So I shoot the entire day knowing that, and I quite literally did not deliver anything where it was the right side of her face focused. But she's also one of those girls that she knows how to turn her face quite well because
she's hyper aware of this.
If she was ever documented on that side, she would just turn her head. She wouldn't let a photo of herself be taken from that side.
Okay.
So I think that in order to make decisions around how we go about things, we have to go to extremes. We have to know what's the furthest reach of that decision that we can make and then dial it back a little bit. So for us as photographers, every single one of us is going to have a different approach to that.
Yeah.
There are many photographers that would never bother asking that question and they would just completely disregard her feelings about the right side of her face because probably you could take a really beautiful photo of her on the right side of her face and she may or may not like the image. You could still deliver it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that what I did was the right call. I'm saying it was a call.
It was the call that you made at the time.
It was the call that I made in
knowledge you had.
2013 or 2014. But knowing that there are people that truly have these hangups about how they look, whether it be, you know, for our 60, 70, whatever plus year old aunties that have like an arm they don't like or a neck thing or a, I don't know, an under eye thing. Like it's all of the things that we internalize as being problematic.
Yeah.
Who am I to say that it's wrong?
Fair. Totally fair.
You know, who am I to say that you're incorrect and my judgment on what is a cool or good photo is more important than your willingness and wanting to see an image of yourself that sucks. Fair. I don't have answers.
No, this is just an open discussion.
This is just a quandary. These are just quandaries.
Welcome to my nighttime thoughts.
Yeah.
That keep me
Mine
up.
are way scarier.
What do you got?
No, just my nighttime thoughts are way scarier.
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh, like I think I'm going to go to jail for tax evasion on the regular. I'm not evading taxes, to be clear. If you're the CRA, I'm not trying to, at least. It's not a conscious decision I'm making. I just feel like I'm an idiot and I have to pay taxes and that feels terrifying. So no, that's usually what I lay in bed thinking that I'll never book another wedding again.
Yeah.
I lay in bed thinking that the weddings that I've backed up, that all the levels of backup are gone. Or I think, oh, there's probably 500 images from the day that just never saved to the card. So I might have backed everything up properly, but those images are missing. Maybe they're all black. These are the things you're up pondering what makes a good candid. And I'm like, when is my life going to fall apart? You know? So
when is that shoot?
I should probably get a new therapist. You know what I'm saying?
Might be time.
But then I come here and I force all of you to listen to my mental health problems instead.
We so appreciate you listening, commenting, liking, subscribing. And
This has been a fun one,
It's
Tim.
been fun. I'm glad we could like jump into this. I'm glad this became an episode we could discuss. I feel weird ethically about putting mics on people now. That hurt a little bit. To be fair to everyone listening, watching, and enjoying this episode, they know they're going to be recorded.
Yes,
It's the
that's what I'm
first look.
saying. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
just go up to random people like Mike, and then I wander away and I run away and I record them. That feels incredibly terrible.
You don't make it a really loud and bright moment
I
that you
don't be like,
are
I'm going to
doing.
put a mic on you. I don't say that because I want to make sure I'm taking as little footprint as possible on the moment. That's my goal.
I understand that.
If someone had a problem with it, I'd be happily delete that audio.
I
Trust
understand
me.
it. I do
Okay.
understand it. Also, Tim and I have
made me feel
heard
really terrible
Tim and
about
I have
myself.
heard way worse shit
Dude.
on mics.
And I have zero energy. Let me make it very clear. I have zero energy dedicated to listening to people talk about whatever nonsense they got up to on a hot mic. I don't care. I don't have time for that. I edit and film everything that I do on weekends for weddings. I no longer outsource things. So that footage, if it's not like a main A-roll thing, I don't give a shit about it. I never hear it. So that's just my piece on that. People are like, oh, what do we hear all the stories? I'm like, I don't care, dude. I don't give a shit.
I know.
don't
Well,
care.
on
I don't have time.
This
to
past weekend, I think somebody said, "Oh my gosh, we were being recorded." What did
Yeah,
we say?
yeah.
Like, because they maybe forgot that the mic was on,
For
or the
sure.
bride didn't know that he had a mic on, or
Yes.
whatever, which is common,
Which is very
right?
common. Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you wouldn't believe the stuff
Yeah.
that has been caught on this mic that is so much worse and could get all of us yeeted if we
Yeah.
ever were to discuss it. This stuff goes scrapped unless it's literally you saying you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen."
I don't care then. Yeah,
And-
that's it. That's the clip I'm looking for. Anything outside of that,
And it's funny because you actually
no time
clock it,
for.
right? Like if
Yeah.
somebody says something truly special, you'll like write it down. You'll be like, okay, timestamp, blah, blah, blah. Or
literally,
whatever.
I could
like,
put a mark thing. Like
because
there's
that's
mark
the
on my
only time I'm
camera.
actually listening and caring about it. But
Anyway,
you know what? If we're not here to question our own
is a good thing.
things, then I don't know what we're here for.
No kidding.
You're not a bad person, Tim.
thanks, buddy. I felt like
you're-
one for that moment, but I'm glad to hear I'm not.
No. I was judging you and I will still continue to, but that's just my life.
That's how we get ourselves better. That's how we elevate ourselves and get better. I judge you quietly. You judge me loudly on a podcast. It's fine.
Tim
Listen.
judges me loudly also
We're
because
taking-
that's what friends do.
We're taking a break. It's summer.
Oh, it is.
Lindsay needs time to edit. I need time to edit.
I'm
You
going to
need time
Newfoundland
edit.
to meet the Puffins.
She's gonna meet some puffins. You need to stop listening to this fucking podcast after this week, just for a week or so.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna take a break. Go back to an old one if you really need to edit to have some white noise in your ears. So you don't think about whether you're a good photographer or not. But we're taking a break just so we can catch up on some editing, make sure our couples are happy. You should do the same. Take a social media, take a content break. Go for a walk with your dog. You know, cultivate some tomatoes in the yard. Do something.
It's a
to
long weekend in
touch
Canada,
grass.
so
It's
enjoy
also a
it.
long weekend. So yeah, enjoy it. We'll see you in like a couple weeks. We're excited. We're happy you're here. Thank you for listening, commenting, subscribing. 5 stars.
Thank you for being here and go and be your weird and wonderful self. Toodle loodles. Mwah.
Ciao.